Ethan woke up with a quiet thrill in his chest. His birthday had always been a day of warmth, of reassurance that he belonged. This year felt especially important. Things had been tense, but surely his family wouldn't let the day pass without acknowledgement. The morning sunlight streamed through his window, and for a moment, optimism carried him. His phone had no messages yet, but maybe they were planning something, a surprise, perhaps. He stepped out of his room, expecting the familiar scent of breakfast, maybe even a cake waiting on the counter. But the house was quiet. Too quiet. Then, the voices started, low, urgent whispers from the living room. Ethan froze in the hallway, listening. Just do it now, Rebecca hissed. He's going to make a scene. It's better this way, Daniel murmured. Linda's voice was softer, hesitant. It's his birthday? A sinking weight settled in Ethan's stomach. The unease turned to alarm as footsteps approached. The moment his father appeared, there was no hesitation. Ethan, grab your things. You need to go. He blinked, unsure he had heard correctly. What? Rebecca folded her arms, impatience flickering in her eyes. You're not welcome here anymore. A chill ran through Ethan's body. His mother stood behind them, arms wrapped tightly around herself, her gaze darting away. This is a joke, right? He let out a small, shaky laugh. It's my birthday. No one spoke. Then, his father handed him a small duffel bag, already packed. That's when Ethan knew. His fingers trembled as he gripped the bag. This wasn't impulsive. This wasn't an argument that had spiraled. This had been planned. His heart hammered as he stepped outside, the weight of betrayal pressing against his ribs. He turned back one last time, hoping, begging, for someone to change their mind. The door shut in his face. And just like that, on his birthday, he was alone. Ethan's footsteps echoed against the pavement, each one heavier than the last. The duffel bag, a mockery of what little his family thought he deserved, pressed against his side with every stride. His fingers tightened around his phone, cold and lifeless in his grip. He tried calling. Again. Rebecca, voicemail. Mom, straight to voicemail. Dad, number blocked. He swallowed hard, eyes darting to the dimming sky. Someone had to pick up. He scrolled through his contacts, tapping Max's name, the one friend he knew would never turn his back on him. The phone rang. Once. Twice. 3 times. Hey, this is Max, leave a message. Ethan exhaled sharply, forcing his hands to stay steady. He wasn't going to beg. Not today. The city lights flickered to life as the sun surrendered to dusk. His stomach tightened, not from hunger, but from something worse. Abandonment. Hours passed. The streets blurred together, each one colder than the last. A diner turned him away. A hotel clerk barely glanced at him before shaking his head. A park bench became his refuge. He sat down, back hunched, as the wind cut through his thin hoodie. His fingers traced the zipper, the same one his mother had mended last winter when he'd torn it. How many times had he bailed Rebecca out of trouble? How many nights had he covered for his father's absence? How often had he pushed his own dreams aside to make things easier for them? And for what? A hollow laugh escaped his lips. He had sacrificed for people who saw him as disposable. The hurt was still fresh, hot and stinging, but beneath it, something else brewed. Anger. They had planned this. They had waited for his birthday, a day meant for celebration, to do this to him. Ethan leaned forward, elbows on his knees, jaw clenched. His hands curled into fists as the realization hit him fully. This was no accident. This was a choice. And maybe, just maybe, they would regret it. Ethan sat on the park bench, legs stretched out, staring at the city lights blinking in the distance. He had nowhere to go, no one to call. His family had made it clear, he was nothing to them. But being discarded had an unexpected effect, it sharpened his focus. As his fingers absently scrolled through his phone, a memory surfaced. A detail so small, so ordinary at the time, but now? Now, it was his way in. Months ago, when Rebecca was too busy partying to handle her finances, Ethan had helped her set up online banking. He had been the one sitting next to her when she typed in the passwords, sighing in frustration over verification codes she couldn't be bothered to remember. His father, a control freak about money, had once forced Ethan to help organize their banking apps during a tax season meltdown. Linda had been careless about security, never logging out properly, assuming no one would betray her trust. Funny. Ethan opened his phone, heartbeat steady. He knew more than they realized. The first temptation came fast, just freeze the accounts. One click, and they'd feel the sting of their own cruelty. But then came the doubt. Would this make him just as bad as them? Was revenge worth it? He ran his tongue over his teeth, staring at the screen. His moral compass wavered, teetering between righteousness and retribution. They had planned his downfall. Plotted it. He closed his eyes, exhaling slowly. When he opened them again, his decision had been made. They had taken everything from him. Now, he would take something back. Ethan sat in a quiet corner of a rundown cafe, his laptop open, the glow of the screen reflecting in his narrowed eyes. The decision had been made, hesitation was gone. His fingers moved quickly, entering passwords he had once helped his father set up, recalling security questions his mother had carelessly shared over the years. Each keystroke tightened the noose around their financial stability. First, the credit cards. He navigated Rebecca's account, her linked cards shining on the screen. Freeze. A single click, and suddenly, her access was gone. The same went for his mother's. His father's business account, temporarily locked. Then, the banking apps. Ethan disabled auto payments, shut down transfers, and ensured no money could move. Bills would pile up, transactions would fail. The house they threw him out of wouldn't be so comfortable when the utilities started shutting down. A vibration in his pocket startled him. His phone screen lit up. Rebecca. He let it ring. Then another name, Dad. Then his mother. He exhaled, lips curling into something close to a smile. They had noticed. Minutes passed before a new message flashed across his screen. What did you do? Ethan leaned back in his chair, stretching his fingers. What had he done? Exactly what they deserved. Ethan didn't have to be there to know exactly how it was unfolding. He could picture it perfectly, the panic, the confusion, the moment realization set in. But reality proved to be even more satisfying. His phone buzzed endlessly with messages, each one more desperate than the last. Rebecca, fix this. Now. Mom, Ethan, please, this isn't funny. Dad, call me back. We need to talk. He could almost hear the arguments breaking out at home, the accusations flying like knives, the frantic calls to banks, the frustration as credit cards were declined at restaurants, at gas stations, at grocery stores. Rebecca, no doubt, had been humiliated first. She'd probably swiped her card at some high-end boutique, only for the cashier to frown and mutter, "I'm sorry, it's been declined." The whispers, the stares, it would eat at her. His father, a man who prided himself on control, must have felt it next, unable to make transactions, unable to reach his accounts, his grip on his empire slipping through his fingers. And his mother? She was likely the peacemaker, scrambling to figure out who had caused this mess. But Ethan already knew exactly how the conversation was going. Rebecca, this is your fault. Dad, you must have been careless, who hacked us? Mom, we need to fix this before people find out. Good luck. Ethan sat in a coffee shop across town, stirring his drink, watching his phone buzz with unanswered calls. Did he feel a sting of regret? Maybe. But as he took a slow sip, feeling the warmth spread through him, he knew one thing for sure. Ethan knew the moment would come. He had expected it, the desperate calls, the frantic messages, the veiled threats, the pleas. But when his family finally stood before him, face to face, the weight of their betrayal felt different. They found him sitting outside a quiet cafe, his fingers wrapped around a cup of lukewarm coffee. Rebecca looked furious. His father looked exhausted. His mother looked broken. Ethan, his father started, voice tight with restraint. Enough of this. Fix what you did. Ethan took a slow sip, watching them, measuring his words. You mean fix what you did? His voice was calm, too calm. Rebecca crossed her arms, glaring. You think you're punishing us? You're just being petty. Ethan let out a short laugh, shaking his head. You threw me out like I was nothing. Not even a warning. On my birthday. His gaze flickered to his mother, her eyes filled with guilt. Was I really that disposable? His mother stepped forward, reaching for his arm. He pulled away. No. No excuses. Silence stretched between them. His father sighed, running a hand over his face. We'll make things right. Just give us access back. Ethan held their gaze, then leaned forward slightly, savoring the shift. For the first time, they needed him. You don't get to just fix this, he said. You don't get to pretend this never happened. Rebecca scoffed. So what, you want revenge forever? Ethan tilted his head. I want respect. I want to make sure you never think you can do this to me again. His mother whispered, what do you want? Ethan exhaled, feeling his power solidify, his rules, his choice. First, he said, voice steady, I decide if I let you have access back, and when. Second, you admit what you did. No pretending this was some misunderstanding. You made a choice. Own it. His father's jaw tightened. His mother lowered her head. And third, Ethan said, his voice firm, I don't forgive just because you ask. Forgiveness is earned. Silence. Ethan stood, sliding his hands into his pockets. You let me go first. Now, I decide how this ends. Ethan sat at the edge of the city, watching the skyline shift under the setting sun. The air was cool, crisp, a contrast to the fire that had burned within him for days. Revenge had come swiftly. The panic, the chaos, the desperation, it had all unfolded exactly as he imagined. His family had pleaded, scrambled, fought among themselves. And for the first time, he held the power. But now, staring at the horizon, he questioned whether power was enough. Had they truly learned anything? Did they feel even an ounce of the pain they had inflicted on him? Or would they simply recover, move on, and erase this memory the way they had erased him? His phone buzzed, another message from his mother. Ethan, please talk to me. He sighed, fingers hovering over the screen. He had expected anger, demands, but instead, the words felt softer. Almost fragile. He thought about the years spent making himself small for them, choosing loyalty over self-respect, forgiving without ever being asked for forgiveness. That version of him was gone now. The choice stood before him. Cut ties forever. Leave them behind, walk away from their dysfunction, build a new life where he was truly valued. Or give them one last chance, on his terms. Not out of weakness, but because people deserve the opportunity to prove they could change. His thumb hovered over the screen, considering his response. Whatever he chose, one thing was certain, he was no longer the helpless son they discarded. Ethan had reclaimed himself. And no one, not his father, not Rebecca, not even his mother, would ever hold his fate in their hands again.